I thought it'd be helpful to give you guys kind of an inside look at our project management system, not the software, but literally like the system we walk through when bringing clients on board. So onboarding clients to assigning the team, our workflow, and then launching a project. In the early years, I made a lot of mistakes, and hopefully I can help you guys learn from my mistakes so you don't have to make the same ones. This is going to be really like a high-level view of our project management system in 3 phases. And so we broke it up into onboarding, assigning the team, and the workflow. And so this is already assuming that we've made a deal with the client, we've agreed on a price, a contract has been signed, and we've agreed to do a project for them. Onboarding, the very first thing is to discuss the payment schedule, make sure that everybody's clear, we're all on the same page. What I used to do was half up front and half upon delivery. And so 50% deposit would get us started on a project, and then we would collect the other 50% when it came time to deliver, to launch a project. And so if we were doing a website, right before we launched the website onto the client's hosting, we would collect the deposit. What I found though was that a lot of times we'd work for the deposit, 50%, we would do like 90% of the project, and we were waiting on a small piece of content back from the client. So basically we're doing like the whole project for half the cost. In some projects, if the client was very slow to respond, it just took forever. One of the things that Chris helped me learn was to do progress billing. Half up front, 25% when you're about 75% complete with the project. And for us, we determined that before we go to revision cycles, that's when we're about 75% done. We do 2 rounds of revisions with clients, and that's included in the cost. So before we go to revision cycle 1, we collect another 25% payment and then 25% upon delivery. And so worst case scenario, if the client doesn't want to pay, or they're dragging their feet on revision cycles, or whatever the case may be, you're only losing out on the 25%, which should be your profit margin, and you're not in the red on the project. So this has really saved our company a lot of financial stress and headache. Then we do a strategy session with our clients. And so the strategy is split up into 2 meetings. We do what's called a kickoff meeting, and I cover that in another video that we call Design Strategy, and I'll put a link below in the description to that video. But that's what the kickoff meeting is. It's basically where we're strategizing with the clients. Okay, this is the end project or the end result that you want. Let's talk about different ways of how we could complete that. Then about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, we'll meet back with the client and go over the brief. So the kickoff meeting is just our discovery session with the clients. Then we have a week and a half to where we're compiling all of our notes and creating the design strategy. And then we meet back with the client and say, okay, this is everything we heard. This is how we have interpreted this into a design project. Are we all on the same page? And so we're basically building up to a solution rather than just going straight to design, which a lot of designers want to do. And so this is also going to save you guys in a lot of revision time. So kickoff meeting, brief review, and this is how we onboard our clients. Now, in between the kickoff meeting and the brief review, we're assigning the team. Now, as an agency, we have kind of a bigger team than solopreneurs, or if you're 1 or 2 man shops, then you might be doing multiple roles, or maybe all of them if you're just a single man operation. But for Butler, we have 3 basic roles doing 3 different things. So we have a project manager, a creative director, and then our fulfillment team. And so when the team is assigned, our project manager, I'll sit with the project manager and we'll go over what the project is, we'll go over the brief, and we'll collaboratively come up with the task calendar. And so the project is the overall project, but that project needs to be broken up into individual pieces, which we call tasks. And those tasks have to have due dates with them, and we'll assign the correct fulfillment team member to do those tasks. Project manager also acts as the liaison between the team and the client. And so basically, they're the ones managing the team to make sure that the team has everything they need to be supported to fulfill their tasks. And they're also collaborating with the client to make sure that the client doesn't feel like they're left in the dark, that the client is seeing progress on their project. And the project manager is also there to ensure that deadlines are met. So we have a particular calendar. We have tasks that fill up that calendar. Project manager manages that calendar. Then the creative director, they're more of overseeing the creative direction of a project. And so we have our creative brief that's been determined over here in strategy. The creative director's role is to really oversee the creative direction or aspect of that project to make sure that the design fulfillment team is staying true to the brief. And they're also there to fill in any gaps to make sure that there's progress. And so if there's two teammates doing different tasks, but there might be something that we're behind on, the creative director would then step in to fill those gaps to make sure that the projects are moving along. And then we have our fulfillment team. These are actually the people doing the code. They're opening Photoshop, they're doing Illustrator, they're doing design, they're completing the deliverables and reporting to the project manager. And so again, in between the kickoff meeting and the brief review, we're assigning the team, and this is what our team looks like. Again, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a one-man shop, you're all of these. I have in my head my own deadline that we believe that we're going to complete this project by. And the way I come up with the deadline is I take whatever my team says and I'll add probably 2 times to that. So if they tell me it's going to take a week, I think in my head it's probably going to take 2 weeks. But what I tell the client is that it'll take us 3 to 4 weeks. And so that way, here's my deadline. I base my deadline off of what the team tells me, doubling it or adding a week or 2, and then we'll tell the client a week or 2 later. And so that way nobody's mad at each other at the end. So we give ourselves room for error, troubleshooting, because a lot of times things don't go as you plan, and you think, oh man, this will only take me 2 days, when in actuality you find something that's going to take you 3 days to a week. And again, we break the project up into tasks and milestones. Milestones are really key points of the project to where we probably should meet up with the client again and go over everything. Definitely before revision cycles, that's a big milestone. Tasks have 4 stages: to do, doing. For review means review for the project manager, the creative director, or from the client, and then it's completed. So to do, doing, for review, and done. And then once the task is done, we're on to the next task. And when all the tasks are done, then the project is completed. We use a project management software called Asana. I know some people use Trello, or there's all kinds of different management softwares out there. Just pick one and use it. As creative people and as nice people, we're going to want to help our clients out as much as possible. And what we'll find is that our clients, they'll send us feedback almost instantaneously. Right when they see a design, they'll give us a little piece of feedback through an email or through a text message or through a phone call. Hey, I like this, but I wanted to see, let's see what that looks like this. And they'll give you little tasks and feedback. And the natural reaction is just to respond to that by working on it right away. And, it's only going to take you 5 minutes. Well, when you get hundreds of those little 5-minute requests, they all end up adding up, and you don't know where you are in revision cycles. And this is how we've ended up in what we call revision cycle hell. Revision cycle hell is when revisions never seem to end, and there is no when did we start revisions? When are we complete? What cycle are we on? I don't know. I think someone might say we're on revision cycle 2, but it really feels like we're on 100 because nobody's been tracking what revision cycle we're on. And so what we have learned to do is to compile all the feedback. Don't touch anything. Right when the client gives you feedback, don't touch it yet. Compile it, put it in a notes or a feedback section. And when we're done and ready to go to revisions, we'll contact the client and say, look, we're trying to make sure that we stay within scope. This is a list of all of the feedback we've received from you to this point. Before we go to revisions, is there anything you want to add, change, take away from this list to make sure that we're only within the first revision cycle so we don't have to charge for any overages? The client's going to appreciate that because they know that you've been listening and keeping track of everything, and they're going to appreciate the fact that you're trying to keep them within scope and within budget. You're going to appreciate, your team's going to appreciate it because you're not overworking them and giving them tasks all the time and throwing them out of their workflow. And so sometimes it takes all the willpower inside of you to just not do it, but this literally has saved us, I think, probably thousands of hours compiling all the feedback. Don't touch it until revision cycles. And that's basically it. That's our project management system. I'm not going to go too in depth of the programs that we use because, like I said, there's a bunch out there, and I think they all work really well as long as you work the system. And so hopefully this was helpful. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments section below. And also, as always, we want to make sure we're putting out content that's helpful for you guys. So let us know what you'd like to hear in the comments section below.
Did you not see the sign?
I shushed.
You can still hear stuff.